Hi YouTube, my name is Gawd and you're watching Gawd Cafe. So today we're going to talk about Neptune and the third house. So Neptune, the planet of illusions, deception, spirituality, creativity, and deep intuition. Third house is a house of communication, your immediate environment, your siblings, the people around you, short journeys, and your early education. What created your communication habits? What are your communication traumas? Everything pertaining to communication. This is also acquainted with the planet of Mercury. The third house is the planet of Mercury, which rules Gemini. So this is the house of Gemini. So you have Gemini and Neptune. So Gemini and Pisces, if you want to think about it. So which is Neptune and Mercury equals Pisces and Gemini. Mercury ruling Gemini, Neptune ruling Pisces. So when you put the two together, what you have in common is that they're both mutable, meaning that they are adaptable energies. So this is a very great, I would think this is an interesting, good, I like this placement here. I think it's a good complementary placement. Being that this placement, your communication style might be a lot different. There is going to be a lot of things unsaid, and you're going to understand that a lot of things don't need to be spoken about because the energy is already communicating. So you may be a person that may stray away from communication because you perhaps feel like, the energy on the other side isn't as, to your liking, or it doesn't feel as welcoming, or you're communicating with it unconsciously, and perhaps, you're sensing what this person feels about this or that, or, it's interesting because you can dilute or deceive yourself within what someone may be communicating to you. However, the reason why you would is because there's times that you actually may pick up on, being a little, just having a little telepathy, a little bit, maybe hearing one of your friends' thoughts in your head, or being able to know what they were thinking somehow. But there may be an inconsistency with that because, it may, when you're looking for it, you're going to deceive yourself. When you are in a state of detachment and not trying to force understanding what's being said through the unconsciousness, then you won't deceive yourself. So it's very important to take note of that, because we as humans can get obsessed with, what the mind is feeding us and maybe stay there. So it's very important to understand that there's a difference when spirit is speaking and when you're just chatting up your brain. So to decipher the two is very important, and to exercise, mental stillness, silence will let you really fully hear when spirit and God is speaking to you. It's going to be very clear. It's going to be information that you're like, oh wow, I never thought of it. How would I even know that? It's kind of supernatural that way, and a lot of us, especially if you're watching this, may already know what this feels like and how this works here on your day-to-day. So when it comes to communication, you guys are excellent with picking up on the little signs and what they mean. However, you may want to escape from communication. You may not feel the need to communicate because you understand the little details of what certain things mean. However, you might escape from wanting to have communication, and then you may want to escape through communication. So it's like the two fishes both ways. Sometimes you want to communicate the world. You want to talk your mouth off. And then out of nowhere, you want to retreat and not speak to anyone at all. And it could happen for months. It could happen for weeks at a time. And you do have to honor this, but you have to work with Neptune and understand that when you're stuck in Neptune, that you may be headed with the, the fish downwards, because the upwards fish is excited. It's excited. It's motivated. It's obsessed. It's obsessed. The fish upwards is obsessed in a way that anything that's good for it and it's obsessed with it, it's a fish upwards. Anything it's obsessed with, anything you're obsessed with that is negative is a downwards fish. So, obsession is a big factor when it comes to Neptune. The obsession is very prominent with Neptune because of the euphoria. The euphoria you may be following, So the euphoria of escaping a communication might be one form. The euphoria of over-speaking as a form to escape, your reality, like talking so much to the point that it may be nonsense. This can manifest in multiple ways, Neptune in the third house. What else about Neptune in the third house? Okay, so your early education, yes. So how you like to learn and your learning habits. Maybe you wanted to escape school. You're not into learning things the same way. Or maybe perhaps you just had a different learning style. Or perhaps you learn through visuals. Maybe visuals really do it for you. The visuals that you see in school, like, when you were a child, maybe certain teachers that use visuals to teach you really, had an imprint. You know what I would do with this placement, which can actually do really well because the ninth house is opposite to the third house, a vision board. A vision board, I can see how a vision board can, because the third house is Gemini, opposite Gemini is, Jupiter, Sagittarius energy. And a lot of the times we got to work with the opposite house to balance out a current house. So if you have Neptune here, understanding that perhaps if you let yourself dive into the big picture, it will motivate Neptune within the third house to follow the fish swimming upwards and not get caught up in the lower frequencies. So this will keep, Neptune in the third in check. When you follow the big picture, you let yourself be Jupiterian. You set intentions. You let yourself, straighten out, perhaps certain concepts as to why you're doing something. Like, what's the reasoning for this? What's the context behind it? To maybe straighten that Gemini information out so that you can dive into the big picture. Now, I'm understanding that the details could be blurred in this house, meaning Neptune being here may, cause a fog over understanding how to be detail-oriented. So you're going to have to really, really, really be intent. You have to set that intention in this house. You're going to have to just take a bird eye view real quick to be like, okay, I'm about to get into this. Is this something I want to get into? And to have the foresight to kind of see it beforehand. So diving into the big picture of a cause and effect. So using the fact that Neptune is very dreamy in the third house and likes to visualize. So tapping into what the big picture is going to be if you, whatever activity you're partaking in, because the third house is short, distances, activities, short journeys, local journeys, and sometimes you can let yourself just do stuff for no reason. I could see that being a thing, like doing stuff for no reason, and all that. So you're going to have to really hold on to the ninth house and the big picture so that you can manifest doing things with more intention by holding on to the big picture, so that the spiritual realm within Neptune can influence you to do things that actually benefit you because you're holding on to the illusion of the big picture. So it's very important to do that with this placement. I don't think that The details will ever become fully clear, so you have to work with that and not be upset at that. You have to just let God, let the universe do the detailing, but you have to make a submission. Setting an intention is like almost making a request for the universe to do something for you. So in Neptune, you have to make requests. You have to set intentions constantly, so that Neptune doesn't autopilot with intentions from maybe the unconscious realm, maybe your unconsciousness, maybe, you know, dark spirits that, you know, come about in your mind out of your awareness. It could be things like that you said that were a little bitchy that you're like, why did I say that? Why did I think like that? You know, Neptune can do this here. So it's very important to know that, to not beat yourself up for having Neptune here, but to utilize Neptune to your advantage. You have to embrace the fog, not let the fog consume you. And Neptune will place the fog over any house. It will become a blur, and you need to kind of like understand that it is a blur. So how can you work with the blur? And the opposite of the blur is Earth energy, Virgo energy. In the opposite house it's in, it's gonna let you understand something about that, you know. And you may not have Virgo in this house, but if you incorporate what Virgo does to Pisces while approaching this house, it can help you. It can help you a lot. Also utilizing the opposite house's energy. So because we have, you know, third house and Neptune here, you're gonna have to work with Virgo because it's opposite of Pisces. And the third house, opposite of third house, is Sagittarius. So if you think about it, the third house here, you're working with two signs, Pisces and Gemini. So you're going to have to allow the opposite energies to form a certain balance within you. Anyway, YouTube, this is Neptune in the third house. My name is Gawd, and you're watching the Gawd Cafe. Until next time.